the Carnival of Nightmares. You know how they say you should face your fears? Well, I faced mine, and it was holding a balloon in one hand and a knife in the other. It all started when the carnival rolled into our small town. Everyone was buzzing with excitement, but me, I was pumped. I hadn't been to a carnival in years, and I was ready for some cotton candy and Ferris wheel action. As soon as I stepped through the gates, I felt something was off. The music was too loud, the lights too bright. That's when I saw him, this clown, standing in the shadows, staring right at me. His makeup was smeared, his smile too wide. I tried to shake it off, but I couldn't stop looking at him. Every time I turned around, there he was, watching me. My stomach started to knot up. I knew I should have left, but I didn't. And that's when things got really messed up. The clown's twisted game. I tried to lose him in the crowd, weaving in between groups of people and ducking behind game booths. But no matter where I went, that creepy clown was always there, just at the edge of my vision. It was like he could predict my every move. I decided to hop on the Ferris wheel, thinking I'd be safe up high. Big mistake. As my car reached the top, I saw him standing directly below, his eyes locked on me. My heart was pounding so hard, I thought it might burst out of my chest. When I got off, I ran straight for the House of Mirrors. Maybe I could confuse him in there. I stumbled through the maze, catching glimpses of my terrified reflection. Suddenly, I heard a giggle behind me. I spun around, and there he was, way too close, his painted smile stretching impossibly wide. "Want to play a game?" he asked, his voice raspy and cold. I bolted, shoving past other carnival goers. I could hear his laughter echoing behind me. I ended up at the edge of the carnival, gasping for air. That's when I noticed something in my pocket. A small, folded piece of paper. With shaking hands, I opened it. Inside was a crudely drawn map of my neighborhood, with a big red X marking my house. On the back, scrawled in messy handwriting, were the words, "The fun's just beginning. See you soon." I felt like I was gonna be sick. This wasn't just some creepy clown act. This guy knew where I lived, and he was planning something. As I stood there, frozen in fear, I heard the clown's voice right behind me. "You can't run forever," he whispered. "We all float down here." I didn't even look back. I just ran, sprinting towards the exit, desperate to get home before he could make his next move. But deep down, I knew this nightmare was far from over. The terrifying journey home. I bolted out of the carnival gates, my heart pounding in my chest. The cool night air hit my face as I ran, thinking I'd finally escape that creepy clown, but man, was I wrong. As I speed-walked down the empty streets, I kept glancing over my shoulder. The shadows seemed to move, and every little noise made me jump. I tried to calm myself down, telling myself it was just my imagination running wild. But then I saw it. A red balloon floating by itself at the end of the street. My blood ran cold. I picked up the pace, practically jogging now. The streetlights flickered as I passed under them, and I could have sworn I heard the faint sound of circus music in the distance. I turned a corner, and there he was, the clown, standing under a streetlight, waving at me with that twisted grin on his face. I took off running, not caring where I was going. My lungs were burning, but the fear kept me going. I ducked into alleyways, jumped over fences, anything to lose him, but every time I looked back, he was there. Always the same distance behind me, never seeming to run, just appearing. Finally, I saw my house in the distance. Relief washed over me for a second, but then panic set in. The map. He knew where I lived. I sprinted to my front door, fumbling with my keys. As I struggled to get the door open, I heard that raspy voice right behind me. "Ready for the grand finale?" the clown whispered. I spun around, my back pressed against the door. There he stood, just a few feet away, twirling a balloon string in one hand and holding something shiny in the other. The porch light glinted off the blade of a knife. "The show must go on," he said, taking a step closer. The tzadith, I don't know how I made it inside, but suddenly I was slamming the door shut and collapsing against it. My whole body was shaking. For a second, I thought maybe it was over. But then I heard that creepy laugh outside my window. I couldn't sleep that night, or the next, or the one after that. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that twisted smile. I started jumping at every little noise. My friend said I was acting weird, but how could I explain? They'd think I was crazy. Maybe I was. That clown took something from me that night, my sense of safety, my trust in the world. Now I can't even look at birthday party invites without freaking out. The worst part? Sometimes I swear I still see red balloons floating by my house, and I can't tell if they're real or if I'm losing my mind.